Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster. Thank you for joining us on Zoom In with Ginnypreneur. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster with Ginnypreneur, and I do interviews of small business owners. And today my guest is Patric. So I can't wait to hear his story. How the heck did you get here? And because I see something here that you started out in auto mechanics. I'm sure that that's good for knowing how to tweak machines and all that you have to deal with. But that's a long road to get to vineyards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, it was a technical trade school that I went to during high school, and started getting some credentials in auto technician as an auto technician. But yeah, extremely helpful. My grandpa, he was an engineer at Motorola, so it's working with our hands and troubleshooting equipment. It comes a little bit more naturally, and luckily we have issues here in the winery every single day that we need to fix. So, you think we're just making wine, but we're more like your part-time. We're like a DIY electrician, plumber, whatever it calls for. And we just try to troubleshoot everything ourselves first.
I bet.
Yeah.
Save a lot of money that way, right? And
we just don't have the money,
Yeah. So it's Sauvage Vineyards, is it?
Sauvage Spectrum.
Spectrum.
Yep.
And give us some of the background from there. How did you move forward into where you are now?
Yeah, so I was in beer working at Breckenridge Brewery over there when they were on Calumet in Denver before they got bought out by Anheuser-Busch. And then I was introduced to Ben Parsons, who owned and founded the Infinite Monkey Theorem. That they're a national winery. They're putting wine in cans. So he was really attracted, I think, to my background in beer and especially high volume packaging, that I went on board with the Infinite Monkey. And personally, that's where I think our success comes from, is a lot of my back training in the beer industry, because it's very rigorous. The standards, they withhold a little bit higher standard, such as in the cleaning as wine and stuff. So I brought my background, my knowledge in the beer industry, and we started kegging wine and we were canning wine, and that was always Ben's vision, but we were really able to pull it off at a high volume type production facility that he'd built out in Rhino. And but working with him, he said, here, I'm going to teach you how to make wine. So he would take me out to the Western Slope, where I'm currently at now, into Palisade, into these vineyards. And then one day we go out there and he goes, here, I'm going to show you how to sample grapes. So we're walking in between the rows, grabbing grapes, tasting them, putting them in a bag. We smash them and send them off for analysis to see when to pick them, really, because we tell the grower when we want to pick. And it was super muddy. We ended up getting the car stuck. And then the grape grower, which we'd never met, I had never met, it was my boss's friend. He comes and gets us out of the mud and takes us over to his house and makes us hot chocolate. And so at this point, that's when I first met Kaibab Sauvage, and now we're partners. So really, the story is that I grew up in this industry. I'm going on my 11th harvest. So the past 10 years, I started with grapes from this very site, this vineyard that we ended up actually building our winery that we partnered on in 2019. It's the exact same grapes I've been using my whole career in Colorado. So I've kind of grown up with these grapes. We're 100% estate. We're only using grapes that Kaibab grows, and he's actually a legend here in this valley. He's been he grew up here. That's all he knows is Colorado grapes and some other fruit. But he really knows what he's doing. He knows what grows well in which microclimate, and we're very specific on what grows well. And we're just running with it. We're trying to do what we want to do with the grapes, because someone like myself who've worked for corporations, we don't really get the creativity that we need to progress, so, and Kaibab, he's tried every wine that he sold. He still sells his grapes, to over 20 wineries, a lot of them on the Front Range. And so he's tried every wine. We've tried every single style produced from this grape and that grape. And it's really fun to get together. How often do you look at a winery and the people that own it, they make the wine and grow the grapes? That's normally not the case. So ironically, it's a different spin on the whole business, and we're just really crafting wine that we want to make. So it's exciting that people enjoy it.
It's really interesting because when you stop and think about it, an awful lot of people in the back of their minds, they only think of Northern Colorado or Northern California, Napa Valley, they hear about, and Columbia Valley River area, that sort of stuff. I think that Colorado is starting to get known more and more, don't you, for their vineyards?
Yeah, we're seeing more and more national press, like CNN just ran an article a couple weeks ago. I mean, we're getting press like it's nobody's business. And, these farmers, they've been working on that for years here. So it's really, I almost feel bad to be here now, when a lot of them have passed by now or they've sold their business. I really feel like our industry is exploding right now, and we're getting the attention that people have worked so hard for so many years. And we just have such a unique microclimate, and we get the ripeness. We don't get as ripe as California, but our diurnal shift at night, because we're in this desert here on the Western Slope, those temperatures are expected to drop 40, 30, 40, 50 degrees. And that retains our acidity. So we're getting these really balanced, phenolically ripe grapes, just beautiful grapes. So it's really exciting. And, there's young blood in the valley, and we're trying new things. So if people have tried Colorado wine before and then they kind of push it off, they say it's too sweet, I just want to urge them to give it another try.
So what you're saying, Patric, is that they've been growing grapes in that area for a long time?
Yeah, I think the first grapes recorded were planted here possibly in the 1890s. And that was sometime around the same time they figured out the irrigation, and they were running, an irrigation ditch off the canal on the Colorado River. And they're just becoming more and more popular, I think, especially because there's such limited agricultural area here in Colorado. So from what I understand, the grapes demand a little bit, higher price even than the peaches. And just the trajectory of the Colorado wine industry, it just seems like we can never get enough of Colorado grapes to make Colorado wine. But that $1 million breeze, that same breeze and the same elements that create these amazing peaches, they are the same elements that make our grapes so special. Kaibab, he spent his adult life, since he's 21, figuring out what grows well in this valley. And every year he's planting new varietals that we get to play with. And it's a huge investment because it takes about 3 years before you actually see the fruit. And we grow almost 30, he grows about 30 varietals.
Wow.
Bordeaux, Rhone, Alsatian, German. What's really cool, these American cold hardy varietals, which have been developed in Minnesota, they more and more fit our bill, here in the valley. And we're really seeing that this year with a little bit warmer temperatures and kind of this climate change happening. But you name the varietal, and there's some that we don't grow. Like Cab Sauv is pretty hard to ripen here. It ripens really well in California because they get more growing degree days. But we can get cut short. We're still dealing with challenges like a fall frost could really, put a dampener on your Cab Sauv grapes.
And you never know when that's going to happen, huh?
No, you don't. 2020 was the last one. So we hope we're in the clear for, I don't know, hopefully 10 years or so. Of
Yeah.
really nice growing.
You must have a ton of acreage then.
Yeah, Kaibab has amassed about 70 acres that he runs under his grape growing company, and that we pick our grapes from directly. That's what makes us a state.
Now,
It is.
Patric,
Yep.
I am sure that you ran into some scary times. And one thing I like to get out there for our viewers to know about is everybody is going to run into times where they're scared to death and fear overtakes them. For some people, it makes them push forward. For other people, it kind of stalls them for a while until they figure out a solution. Did you ever come across anything like that for yourself?
Oh yeah. So COVID, of course, before COVID, we were doing really good. We were in business, I don't know, about a year, and we had about 84 wholesale accounts, which we were self-distributed, managing on our own. So it was a lot of work, of course, because we're making the wine too. But yeah, COVID hit, and it was, you could say it's good for the alcohol industry, but we were a new brand. And I think during COVID, people were not trying new brands. They were grabbing, that yellow kangaroo bottle or whatever it is they drink, and they're used to in the liquor store or the grocery store, and they just want to get out of that store. Creatures of habit at that time reverted back to that, and new brands, I think, struggled a little bit. So in Mesa County here, though, we were granted a 5-star variance, and as long as we followed the rules, stayed safe, and we're compliant, we were able to be open. So, unbeknownst to us, everyone canceled their vacation. Well, their vacations got canceled, and they all came to the Western Slope. So we really blew up, and especially I think our valley realized how important agritourism was during the time of COVID, because we're naturally socially distanced. Our space, we have big garage doors, fans. We open it up, and of course you're in a rural area, so you can enjoy your wine and be safe as far as the COVID guidelines were concerned. And just people were coming in flocks. So we experienced a very big boom there. And they're not.
Was that this year?
No, the first year was COVID, 20, what was that, 2020?
2020, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2020. So, but prior to that, right when COVID hit, I remember we had all these barrels full of wine, and I don't know, closer to $1 million worth of inventory. And I'm just looking at all this, and I'm like, damn, we are really in some big trouble right now.
Yeah.
Because we're closed. We had no one coming in. But because Mesa County let us stay open, we adapted. We changed our whole business plan. We built this for wholesale distribution. We went to Home Depot. We bought some workbench tables. We built a little makeshift portable bar, and we opened our doors in the middle of COVID, and everyone came, and we just blew up. And I really enjoyed it because it changed our whole business plan from wholesale, where you're getting 12, 13, 14 bucks a bottle. But now we're more focused, about 80% focused on direct to consumer. And we've just opened our second tasting room because, we're building that experience for the guest, and we're explaining the wine, we're educating them, we get to talk them through it. And of course we're getting a higher profit potential, from that same bottle. So that's really helped us propel, just get to a better place quicker.
I love it. That's great. Is there anything else that you can inform our viewers of?
We just want you to try it, give it a try, and come visit us in Palisade, and you'll see a real winery with the tanks, and you'll see us making the wine right in front of you. So I love it. I think we'd enjoy having you out.
Well, thank you, Patric, so much for taking some time out and explaining it. As I said, Patric is a legend and a busy man, so I really appreciate you taking some time to do this interview with me.
I appreciate meeting you, and thank you guys for coming in and being fans. I'm glad you had fun and
Oh, yeah,
turned into this. It's great.
that's right. We may have to make it an annual event.
Good. Oh, I hope you do. More than that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Ginny. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.